All right, with that, if anybody wants to turn their microphone on, you may, but we want to shut them off as soon as they're done, because my understanding, we bleed into the other meeting. So we are going to start Public Works. Please note that all 5 members are present. We're going to start with number 8, and it's a joint referral resolution authorizing the Director of Public Work to enter into professional services agreement with the City Water LLC for the engineering consultant services for assistant pumping station operator for the total sum not to exceed $25,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Lysick, second by Alderman Vitale. Is there further discussion on this item? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Number 26, resolution accepting the work of Zenith Tech Incorporated for removal, excavation, base aggregate, concrete, sidewalk, electrical work, traffic control, and all incidental items necessary to prepare bike share sites for the installation of equipment by others in various locations in the city of West Dallas, and authorizing and directing settlement of the said contract in accordance with the contract terms for the final payment of the 2017 project number 6 in the amount of $2,000 of the $103,633.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Lysick, seconded by Alderman Ranky. Any further discussion on item number 26? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 27, resolution to reject the bid of TMI Coatings Incorporated for surface preparation, containment, and collection of waste materials and the painting of the overpass of the Union Pacific Railroad Bridge located at South 108th, Wisconsin Highway 100 at the West Marner Park Drive in the city of West Dallas as part of the 2019 project number 10 in the amount of $174,800.
Move for approval to reject the bid.
Second.
Alderman Lysick, seconded by Alderman Vitale. Little.
Yeah, we're going to rebid this, and we have reason to believe that we'll get much lower bids because 2 of the companies that were going to bid weren't able to get onto the website, and so there's no deadline. We can do this a little bit later in the summer if we rebid it, and I think we'll get a much better price. So,
Any further discussion by any
Mr.
other
Chair?
alderman? Yep.
How many bids did we get in?
we only got 1.
Oh, only
So I
one.
think if we do it again, we might get 3 or at least 2, and I think they'll be lower.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That's what
thank you.
That's what they're
Any
indicating.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 28, resolution to approve the bid of Ladon Contractors for the installation of concrete curb gutter, concrete pavement, concrete sidewalk, concrete replacement, sanitary sewer relay, storm sewer relay, water main relay, building services, street lighting, and utility adjustments in the South 55th Street from West Mobile Street to West Electric Avenue, South 58th Street from West National Avenue to West Greenfield Avenue, and South 59th Street from West Mobile Street to West Lincoln in the city of West Dallas in the amount of, looks like $2,343,625,001.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Ranky, seconded by Alderman Vitale.
I would like to say that nobody really from the area show up opposing it. I think it needs to be done, so that's why everybody's happy about it,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 29, resolution amending the agreement with Iris and Associates to provide DNR site investigation reporting, site closure reporting, and monitoring for the abandonment services for the South 84th Street and West National Avenue site as ordered by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources in the amount not to exceed $17,050.
Move for approval.
Second.
By Alderman Vitale, seconded by Alderman Stefanski.
No,
Oh,
Ranky.
I thought you, okay,
She
Ranky.
beat me to it.
Okay.
I heard you peep.
Yeah, I did.
Could we
Any
have-
discussion on item number
could we
29?
have explanation on that, please?
Yeah, so when WisDOT installed those signals there in about 2014, which they did for free, unfortunately, they discovered contamination because I guess there was a gas station there. I've seen pictures. So they felt the need to report us to the DNR. Well, so that meant that we had to clean it up. So, so now we've been testing the groundwater for a couple of years now, and initially it was pretty high, but now they found that the samples are back within limits, so we just need to close this out. The $17,000 is just to close this out and finish this matter once and for all with the DNR.
So there's still wells in the neighborhood?
There are right now, but they'll close those up. They're just very simple tubes that they sample. So they'll close those up. They'll finish off the paperwork, send it off to the DNR, show them that there's no contamination there anymore, and then we can finish this up.
I see.
So.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Moved by Alderman Vitale, seconded by Alderman Ranky. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. Then 29A, this is on the supplement agenda. It's a discussion regarding ongoing maintenance to the Public Works property located at 6300 West McGee Avenue in West Alliston. I'm the one that actually asked for this. My understanding is we have some things that are progressing for the future that I don't care to discuss, but that sometime we have delayed some maintenance that would go on. And anything that would happen in the future would be 5-10 years down the road before it would happen. And I think that there's some things that are at the current Public Works facility that probably need immediate attention if we're going to be in that building for another 5, maybe 6 years. There's some pretty serious issues, and like I said, from different sources, I heard that they've been delayed because of future considerations that possibly could happen. So I wanted Dave I called him and said, hey, Dave, what needs to be done with the Public Works building? And what are like the pressing issues that maybe we should consider still doing? And I think one of them that I'm concerned about is the roof, that we're delaying the roof, and we really probably need that done, even though, things may happen in the future. But, so Dave, I'm gonna.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Chair. So what we have been doing, we have a historical repair of our main garage roof that's been dating back since 2014. And doing that each and every year up to 2016, various sections of the municipal yard roof have been repaired or replaced. The one section that has not been addressed has been the independent facility where we have storage and the weld shop repair and that sort of thing. So that was going to be considered back in 2018. Monies were budgeted for that in an amount of $100,000. At that time, those funds were then used for the McKinstry study to go ahead and study all the facilities within the city-wide basis. The conclusion of that report was received in 2019. And in that, we had a very detailed report for the next 30 years. So this year, since we have the start of that potential CIP needs assessment for each and every facility, we're looking at, for example, for the municipal yard building, I will be requesting our needs for the municipal yard is $280,000. So that will be for the year 2020, based on the McKinstry consultant study. For 2021, we will be looking at $524,000 worth of improvements. 2022, we are looking at $357,000 of improvements. And 2023, $325,000. So this is for the main garage area. We also have the needs assessments for separate buildings within that site and all the buildings of, throughout the city. So that request has gone in for our capital improvements program, and we'll decide on where we allocate those funds to, and that's based on the CIP committee.
No, again, in my understanding is that some of the things probably should have been done, and I guess I'm most concerned about the roof, and that whether or not that roof can be tolerated for the next 5-6 years, or should it regardless of what happens down the road, that roof probably should be repaired, from my understanding.
So they have a section, it's not in the main garage area for the roof. It's in a separate facility. It's where our weld shop and storage area. They locate as a north garage. Excuse me here. But this is the main garage, but it's the side here. So that's scheduled for 2022, based on that McKinstry study consultants. And they are estimating those repairs $250,000, $265,000.
Which is the one that needed, that was delayed to be done now?
That section.
Oh,
yep.
that is? So-
Yep. So this.
Okay.
So areas here, I spoke with our building and our facility superintendent, and the rough estimate for completion was 2014, 2015, and 2016. So those areas have been
they're done.
covered, and now we need the independent storage area.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, absolutely, Vince.
Financially, I feel that, is that really a wise thing, talking about the old, at the city yard, the present structures, it needs so much maybe attention, in the last 3, 4, 5 years. So we're talking about probably could exceed probably the amount more than $1 million, right?
Through all the repairs for the next 5 years, yes, you're looking at that for the
Yeah, so.
immediate 5-year.
So the fact stands, it is, well, why then we should not start focusing? Really, we're gonna invest money on something that a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, is gonna be demolished, you know?
Just,
Well,
no, you're on the right track, but be careful what you say.
oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I understand that.
Okay.
I'm probably going off the track a little bit, but that's something.
No, you're spot on, but just be,
But, it's a little serious about, it's common sense. For my opinion, I believe you should dedicate the fact, where we're gonna put the new site. Sorry, okay.
stop right there.
Stop right, okay, I'll stop right there. So, that's something that I'm kinda concerned about it, investing money on the present site, the old city yard, where the operation is going on right now. So that's where I have problem with, think about the next step, that's all.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I'm-
Alderman Lysick.
I'm pleased that Public Works and Dave have taken a look at our needs into the future. They're planning for it. We don't know what's going to come down the road, but certainly we have to have a plan in place, and it appears as though they have a capital improvement plan for that site. And, we'll take it as it comes up at budget time, and hopefully we can fit those needs in the budget.
Mr. Chairman,
We're going to have to.
Well, Mr.
are
Stefanski.
any of these, like, serious safety issues?
The roof, yeah, there's some scheduled for this year, is a lot of electrical improvements made for the basement area. So those are somewhat, can be addressed internally with our staff. That's currently we have a great electrical staff that they are very resourceful, and we could probably do that internally. So part of our job is with the capital improvements program is to identify these issues that McKinstry helped us identify, and then what can we do, number one, and we have to rate them as priority. So that's part of our job, that we have to address this with
Kind of
you.
what I was wondering, what kind of priority was, if there's safety issues for workers or any,
Right,
those are addressed first.
yep,
Okay.
and we will consider that, yep, and then we'll report that to the capital improvements program and, prioritize those.
Yeah, I agree with Alderman Stefanski. I think it's safety and comfort. If there's something that's, that with the, what's the word I would use, the comfort of the employees, where they're, walking through buildings that are leaking on them and stuff like that, we should address that. But my concern was that there may be a need or two that really needs to be done, that would last 5, 6 years down, down the road, that are priority with, without being able to get into any other details. So,
Correct.
and that was my concern, is that it's not getting done, and it probably should be done. So, and if there's something that you feel that is necessary like that, I think this committee would like to hear that. So, please come to us.
And Mr. Chair, you're absolutely correct. If there was a safety emergency need, a requirement that we had to address as soon as possible, yes, for certain, we would address that with the committee.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Have there been plans to take care of these problems? I mean, or is it just on paper?
Right now, it's on paper. We were just identified with, from our consultant firm, but then we will have to look at what can we do, prioritize them, and then what can we provide internally as a city crew and staff provide versus contracting, and, what dollar amounts will be estimated for their services.
We are gonna address the fuel pits.
And as Pete has mentioned, the fuel pits, that has carried over from a previous year. We have issues there with the fuel tanks, or I should say dispensing units. But we also have a second issue that we're just made aware of, is the water, accumulation of the water, the improper drainage is causing some problems as well. So, it's kind of a little bit more than what we expected for that. So we are looking at that at this time, and we'll be looking at a RFP as well to identify and correct that issue as best that we can.
So once you make the decision, the bids will go out?
Correct, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? With that, we will have a motion to adjourn Public Works.
Sure, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Safety and Development Committee will come to order. All members of the committee are present. First item on the agenda is item 30. It's an ordinance to establish parking restrictions on the north side of West Beecher Street from a point 30 feet east of 91st Street to 91st Street. Is there a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
Stefanski. Any discussion? Stefanski. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 31 is a resolution authorizing the Director of Development to enter into a site assessment grant contract by and between the City of West Dallas and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation in an amount of $150,000 for the property located at 1126 South 70th Street.
Move for approval.
Been moved by
Second for
Alderman Kelly,
discussion.
seconded by Alderman Barzak. Mr. Steeble.
Mr. Chairman, this is a brownfield grant that the developer can apply for themselves. They prepare the application, they submit it to DNR, DNR has preliminary approval, up to the city endorsing it, and there's a 20% match that's required of the grantee, which would be the city, and the owners that they'll pay the 20% grant. So, it won't cost us anything to help with that, so additional financing.
Excellent.
Any further discussion?
The city won't incur no cost, though.
The city will incur no cost.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, we may have to write a check or two. Send it to the state for reimbursement. We probably won't write the check, we'll just send it to the paperwork in.
On behalf of the company?
It'll be staff time.
Right.
Turn it on, John.
Limited staff time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 32, I'm going to hold for the time being. Some of the people on finance wanted to come down and be a part of that discussion. Item 33 and 34 is a resolution approving a certified survey map to split the existing parcel located at 10201 West Lincoln into two parcels submitted by John T. Ford of Catalyst Partners on behalf of Lincoln Development Holdings LLC. Is there a motion to approve?
Sure move, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Alderman
Second.
Vitale,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Alderperson Ranky. Is there any discussion?
Is there a plan in place?
Yeah, that's the hotel.
The hotel.
Yes.
It's the hotel is one
And-
parcel, and then the outlot is the second parcel.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 35 is an ordinance to amend the subsections of the accessory buildings of the RMC code relative to height of accessory buildings garages. This is the one we had a hearing on this evening.
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Well, I thought that we should have some amendments, correct,
Oh, yeah,
John?
Yes.
Do you have those amendments that we can include? Okay.
These are this,
These are
The-
the amendments
the amendments that were in the PowerPoint presentation
Oh,
today
okay.
that
that
the
the
staff
garage
came
shall
up with.
not, well, you have, but let me, I'll read it for the public. Garage shall not exceed 1,000 square feet in total area. Number two, the detached garage may be built up to 18 feet high in height above grade, but shall not exceed the height of the principal dwelling. Number three, no garage attached or detached shall exceed the height of the principal dwelling. And number four, the wall height of the detached garages shall not exceed 10 feet.
Yeah, I'm happy with that because, we talked about with Steve, and I think I'm glad that some of the amendment were attached to this, which I'm happy about the 16 feet height of the overhead door. To me, was totally insane, to have a industrial high in a residential neighborhood, so.
Is there a motion?
So I move for number 35 to be approved as amended.
It's been moved by
Second.
Alderman Barzak, seconded by Alderperson Stefanski to approve as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. We then have item 36 on your agenda. This is the ordinance to amend section 1206, definitions in subsection 1210, general provisions for the RMC relative to motor vehicle and small engine repair in residential districts. This one we had a hearing on this evening. I would suggest that we hold this in committee for further investigation and comment, give all the older people a chance to communicate with staff, express your views.
So now wouldn't be a time to add an amendment to it?
No.
I think the best thing is
I think
to
there's more.
talk to Mr. Stiebel about it, and we can discuss it certainly. If you have an idea, why don't you bring it
Well,
out?
I'm thinking that if we do this, we should have in there that it would be the residents or the occupants' vehicles that are registered to them or a family member. So like, say your son doesn't live with you and your dad knows how to fix cars and he comes to the dad's house to fix it. That would be my proposal for an amendment on
And
that.
if I bring my car over, you won't fix it?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I think we're on the right direction.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
But I
this is
think
the
there's
right
more.
direction.
And I'm going to go back to the property on 109th and Washington, is they have right now 2 cars in there, and I'm not sure who they belong to. They're not registered at all. So they could register them to anybody, and they're constantly working on these. They're project cars. And, I mean, it literally is, I think some mechanics would be extremely jealous of all the equipment. I mean, they got motor hoists, and they got everything in that place. And then there's another one on 115th, it's a duplex. He races cars, and he has them on the trailer, and he's constantly working on his car, and people aren't complaining, but if complaints came up, you'd have that vehicle. So how's that covered? It's his race car.
Exactly.
I-
Those are the
there-
types of situations that we want to get after. We have someone in the 4th District that, and we haven't had complaints about it, that is working on motorcycles all the time and making noise. The neighbors aren't complaining yet, but sooner or later they're going to be. They don't have a garage, it's outside. And so, those are the types of things that if we get complaints that we want to be able to handle.
This particular ordinance reminds me of something that we're fixing that wasn't broken.
Yes.
That's the
You know,
problem.
Alderman
I would
Barzak, I
agree.
agree.
I would
Both
agree.
yours and Alderman Shapluski's comments and Alderman Vitale's as well. we haven't had a problem with this for many, many years, and I don't know, you know, are we overreacting to something? Maybe we are, so maybe we all want to sit back and think about it and see. I've never had a problem that wasn't able to be resolved on these kinds of issues.
Ever.
Yeah, totally.
Mr. Chair, I think we're opening the door to something that we don't want to open. For this past year, I've maybe received 2 calls about the noise element far into the night. If we were to pass something like that, I would want to,
Generally a call to the police department.
Yeah.
And they go out there and talk to the people.
Right.
Most people are reasonable and recognize, oh, yeah, I was kind of stupid today. I shouldn't have been doing
right.
it this late.
But I
you
think
know.
there should be a different time limit if we did introduce it also, because there was a concern about the noise and the time.
Mhm. Yeah, I have no problem with restricting the time at all.
Yeah.
Me-
But like you say, I think we're opening the door to something that doesn't
Yeah.
need to be
I mean,
opened right
There are so
now.
many people that work on their cars.
Right.
I mean, it's just a common thing, and you don't want to be saying, no, you can't do that anymore.
But, you know, we always had that tool if somebody was carried away.
Yeah,
We had the tool that be able to go in there and say, hey, you can't do that. You know, again, 31 years, I've never heard of anybody getting in trouble for changing their tires, you know, from winter to summer, to putting shocks on their car, to, you know, doing the stuff.
Changing
when
a
they're-
starter.
Yeah, when they're doing it once every 6 months, or, you know, once, but when to open the door that now you can do it all the time. It's just like we're fixing something that's not broke. You know, me personally, I'd like to see it placed on file and leave it, but we'll keep it for some further discussion.
Then we have items 37 and 38 on your agenda. This is the resolution relative to determination of a special use rent for a proposed community-based residential facility to replace the existing office building at 8410 West
Move for
Cleveland
approval, Mr.
and the
Chair.
special use permit.
Second.
Finally,
Moved by
get something,
Alderman
get
Vitale,
revitalized
seconded
in
by
that
Alderman
corner.
Barzak. Any discussion?
I have another question that I thought of after.
Sure.
This facility, will they have a continuum of care? In other words, as the person progresses and gets ill, are they going to take care of them in that facility? Or are they gonna send them to another facility?
Well, it depends on what happens, John. They're
Well-
not a medical facility. They're,
Right.
they're an Alzheimer's facility and mental issues. Somebody gets, you know, a heart attack or something, no, they're
Well,
not.
that's what I meant.
They're not ICU or anything like that.
There's somebody here that could answer that question. Mark.
Okay,
It's typical CBRF. They all run the same.
Hi, I'm Matt Terzinski from Platinum Communities. And, we're operating CBRFs, so it's community-based residential facility, and once the care gets to what you would consider nursing home care,
Yes.
typically people have to leave our facility, unfortunately, and go somewhere else. But if somebody was to get really sick, we can bring people in, and they could potentially, you know, pass away in our facility, you know, on hospice. So we occasionally have hospice people come in because, you know, when we operate, most people stay on average about 2 years, and it becomes their home and their family. And so if somebody's gonna be passing away, they could end up staying. We wouldn't provide the hospice care ourselves, but a third party would come in and do it. And it happens occasionally, but otherwise, no, people don't.
I don't think we have a CBRF
Like a
that's
nursing home.
of
We
that
don't have any
magnitude
nursing
though, do we? I mean, this is a large facility.
We have nursing homes.
It's a nursing home,
We're
not
nursing
a-
homes.
We're not, no.
yeah, but CBRF,
Different, CBRF, no. You have something
that's,
else,
that's considered
a
a
street
whole,
here, that's an assisted.
a residential facility, but it's considered a CBRF?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, we looked at that building 4 or 5 years ago, and it was for sale.
So these, this facility wouldn't have like apartments just for people to
it's-
rent?
No,
No, it's just for care.
Just for
It
care.
sounds like, I
Yeah.
see.
right. It's their home, but, you know, their rooms are not that big.
Are there kitchen facilities? I
Not in
don't
the
remember.
rooms.
Pardon me?
Not in the rooms,
Not in the rooms?
not in the rooms.
I see, so it's just kind of
Or
Kind of
dorms,
place to
Bedroom?
sleep and be
It's a
privacy.
bedroom.
sleeping for,
It's like a nursing home.
It's not a nursing home.
but it's like-
Don't give that-
It's a
No, but it's-
CBRF.
Right, right.
The rooms are the same as the nursing home. type.
That's what
I
I'm
see.
saying.
You know, so
Okay.
typically, you know, we see RCAC, well, you see, you know, like senior apartments.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
Then the next level is RCAC, where you might have, you know, maybe a 500 square foot mini apartment with a tiny kitchen. You might have
Yes.
a microwave and
Yep.
refrigerator.
But you don't have.
Then after that, then you go to CBRF, and typically the rooms are about